First contact, and a punch the cold metal floor of the ship echoed with each of Jax's heavy steps. The ship was old, broken, and smelled like oil and burnt wires, just the way he liked it. Jax was a scavenger. He didn't care if something was dirty or dangerous as long as he could sell it for parts. Outside, the space station floated quietly above a dead planet. No air, no life, just silence and junk. Inside, Jax stopped near an old cargo container. Something felt wrong. He narrowed his eyes and pulled out his shock blaster. A soft noise and like breathing came from inside the container. He kicked it open. Nothing. Then, whoosh! Something jumped at him from behind. Jax dropped the blaster and spun around just in time to see a small figure dash into the shadows. What the hell? He muttered. The figure moved fast. Too fast. It wasn't human. Jax picked up his blaster again and crept forward. All right, I don't know what you are, but this ain't your house. A low growl echoed through the hallway. Jax aimed his blaster at the corner. Suddenly the figure stepped out. It was an alien. Thin, small, with glowing blue eyes and skin that shimmered like water. She looked young. Maybe a kid. But in her hands she held a strange alien device, pointed right at him. "Back off," she said in a shaky voice. Jax blinked. "You speak English?" The alien's hands trembled, but she didn't lower the device. "I said back off," she shouted again. "Easy now," Jax said, raising his hands. "I just found you in my ship. Maybe say thank you instead of pointing. That alien hairdryer at my face?" The alien blinked, confused. "Hairdryer?" "Yeah," he smirked. Wait, never mind." Her eyes flicked around the room. She looked scared, cornered, hurt. Jax saw the blood. A thick silver liquid ran down her side. "Listen," he said, softer now. "You're bleeding, you need help." "No," she said quickly. "They're coming. If they find me, they'll kill us both." "Who's they?" "The ones who built me." Built. Before he could ask more, the ship suddenly shook. A low alarm buzzed in the background. Someone had triggered the outer sensors. Jax looked at the console. "Damn," he said. "We've got incoming. Probably bounty hunters." The alien's knees gave out. She dropped the device and collapsed. Hey, don't die on my floor." Jax caught her before she hit the ground. Her skin was ice cold. Her lips moved. She whispered something in a language he didn't understand. Then, slowly, she opened one eye and looked at him. Her voice was soft now, scared, childlike. "Please, protect me, human." Jax stared at her. "Protect you? Please." He sighed. "What the hell am I supposed to do with you?" The alarm buzzed louder. Jax looked at the console again. Bounty hunters were docking now. Guns gear probably mean as hell. He looked back at the alien in his arms. She was a mess. Injured. Probably dangerous. But she was also just a kid. "I must be losing my mind," Jax muttered. He lifted her into his arms and ran toward the storage bay. He tossed open a hidden panel on the floor. "Grumbles," he yelled. A small robotic eye popped out of the wall. "Yes, Captain Jax?" "Emergency hide hole. One alien-sized guest. Quiet as death." Grumbles beeped. "Understood. Activating silent mode." The panel opened wider. Jax placed the alien gently inside. She grabbed his sleeve weakly. "You're not like them," she said. "Nope," he replied. "I'm worse. I charge rent." The panel shut just in time. Clang, clang, boots hit the metal floor. Heavy ones. Jax turned, blaster ready, and put on his best innocent dumb mechanic face. "Can I help you fellas?" he asked as two armored bounty hunters stormed in. One of them raised a photo on a hollow screen. It was her, the alien girl, wanted. Alive. Reward, 5 million credits. The hunter growled. "We're looking for a fugitive." Jax shrugged. "Sorry, friend. Just junk and bad coffee here." The hunter stepped closer. "Search everything." Jax kept his hand near the emergency trigger. If they found her, it'd be over. The alien, hidden beneath his ship, held her breath. Her small hands trembled, but in the dark, she smiled faintly. For the first time, someone didn't run from her. Junkyard chase and chili noodles. The bounty hunters had searched every inch of the ship, except the one place they shouldn't. Jack sat calmly at his console, pretending to fix a coffee machine that hadn't worked since the last solar flare. One of the hunters sniffed the air like a bloodhound in armor. "Smells weird in here," he growled. "Could be my socks," Jax offered. "Haven't taken them off in 3 months." The bounty hunter made a noise like he'd swallowed a bug and stomped off, as the airlock hissed shut and the last armored boot left his ship. Jax let out a breath that could have filled a hot air balloon. He slid back the hidden panel. "You can breathe again, kid." The alien girl, Kira, blinked up at him with glassy eyes. "You lied to protect me." "Yeah, well," Jax said, scratching his head. "I do stupid things sometimes, usually after chili noodles. Speaking of which," her stomach made a strange glurk noise. Jax blinked. "Was that your stomach, or did something just explode inside you?" Kira blushed. Her skin shimmered purple. "I think hunger." Scene shift. The scrapyard hours later, they were hidden deep in Jax's secret spot, an abandoned junkyard on the edge of the asteroid belt. It was filled with broken bots, rusted star cruisers, and at least one fridge that Jax was 70% sure contained an alien fungus colony with its own tax ID. Jax heated up 2 bowls of chili noodles, extra spicy, his usual. "Try this. Might light your brain on fire, though." Kira sniffed it like it was a chemical weapon. Then she took a bite, and her eyes lit up like a binary sunrise. "It's amazing," she said with a spicy hiccup. "My tongue is melting. I love it." "You're officially human now," Jack said, grinning, initiated by spice. For a few minutes they ate quietly, surrounded by silence and starlight. Then Kira looked up. "You should have left me behind. You still can." Jax poked at his noodles. "Yeah, I could have. But then who would I eat spicy noodles with in a scrapyard full of tetanus?" Kira didn't laugh, but the corner of her mouth twitched. Memory fractures later that night, while Jax was patching a broken exosuit leg, Kira stood near a pile of old data cores. Her fingers hovered over one, and it flickered to life. Without power, images shimmered into the air. A tall alien figure in ceremonial armor, a symbol, a triangle within a circle, a flash of light. Screams. Kira gasped and dropped the core. Her hands glowed faintly. Sparks flickered in her palms. Jax looked up. "Hey, you okay?" "I remembered something," she said slowly. "My family, my people, but it's broken, like a puzzle with missing pieces." Jax came over, stared at the hovering symbol. His eyes narrowed. "I've seen this before," he muttered. Kira turned to him. "Where?" He didn't answer. Because he had seen it. In his father's old journal. Buried deep in the wreck of a research ship lost 20 years ago. A ship that should have had nothing to do with aliens. But before he could speak, a warning. Alarm buzzed in his earpiece. Grumbles. "Unauthorized movement detected in Quadrant 3. Small, fast, not one of ours." Jax cursed. "They found us." The chase, they ran. Through the maze of metal and wreckage. Kira moved fast, but she limped, the wound from earlier still fresh. Jax tapped a button on his wrist. His old exosuit activated with a BZZZT, wrapping around him like a clingy metal octopus. Grumbles projected directions onto his HUD. "One bounty hunter. Fast. Stealth mode. Heading your way." Jax turned to Kira. "Can you make it to the ship?" She shook her head. "Go without me." He rolled his eyes. "Do I look like someone who makes smart decisions?" Suddenly, from the shadows, zap! A plasma bolt grazed the junk pile next to them. Jax ducked, tackled Kira to the ground. A bounty hunter stepped out, all black armor and glowing red optics. You got something of ours, scavenger. Jax stood, shielding Kira. Oh, her? Nah, she's my niece, terrible at math, eats like a vacuum. The hunter raised his weapon. Jax threw a wrench. Yes, a wrench. It hit the hunter in the face. Ow! What the? That's when Kira's eyes flared bright blue. The bounty hunter froze mid-step, literally froze. As in, ice crystals began forming around his armor, locking his limbs. What the hell? Jax breathed. Kira stood, arms trembling, eyes wide with fear and power. I didn't mean to, she whispered. It just happened. The hunter fell backward, unconscious, frozen. Jax stared. Remind me to never get you mad. A dangerous truth. Back at the hideout, Kira was shaking. I don't know how I did it, but I've done it before. Back. When they tried to take me, I think I hurt someone. Badly. Jax sat beside her. You didn't freeze me. That's progress. Jax, she said quietly. What if I'm not supposed to exist? He didn't answer right away. Then he looked at her seriously. Then maybe you're here to change what's supposed to exist. Kira looked up, but before she could speak, beep, 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 a new alert. Signal intercept. Subject number 13 located, engaging extraction. Prepare containment. Jax's heart stopped. Someone was tracking them, not bounty hunters, government, or worse. He looked at Kira. Have to move now. As they fled the scrapyard, a tiny drone hovered silently above, recording everything. On a distant space station, a figure in shadows watched the feed. Subject has activated Phase 1, the voice said coldly. Proceed with retrieval. The things she remembers. The desert moon was red, not warm sunset red, blood red. A long dead rock orbiting a broken planet, forgotten by every star map in the quadrant. But Jax knew it. He landed the ship in silence, engines cooling with a soft, mechanical sigh. Outside, the wind howled through dry canyons like the ghosts of ancient tech. This place isn't on any chart, Kira said, peering out the window. It's not supposed to be, Jax muttered, powering down systems. It's where my father disappeared, 20 years ago. Kira turned to him. What happened? Jax gave her a look. You ever watch your childhood dog get eaten by a gravity rift? Kira shook her head slowly. Good, me neither. But this place feels worse. The lost lab, they found the old research lab buried in a canyon, half swallowed by dust. The door was sealed with a human access code. Jax punched it in. Muscle memory. The door hissed open with a long, reluctant groan. Inside, the air was stale and still. Screens were smashed, notes covered in sand. A broken coffee mug still sat beside a control panel like someone left it yesterday, and never came back. Kira picked up a fragment of a shattered datapad. Her fingers brushed it, and it sparked. Then, without warning, she screamed. Memory, flash white lights, cold metal, voices. Kira was somewhere else, lying on a table. Machines, humming. A woman stood above her, human in a lab coat. Kind eyes, but tears in them. You're more than what they made you, Kira, the woman whispered. Remember that. Then a scream, and fire. Hey! Jax's voice yanked her back. Was on the floor, breathing hard, hands shaking. You zoned out, Jax said, helping her sit up. Like full-on reboot mode. What did you see? Kira wiped her face. A lab, a human scientist. She knew me. Jax frowned. That's not possible. You were, what, grown in a test tube on some alien world? Kira shook her head. Maybe, not. She said they made me. She looked up. What if I wasn't born alien? Jax blinked. Well, you're definitely not from Brooklyn. He sat down next to her. Then something on the wall caught his eye, carved into metal, half covered, in sand. A triangle inside a circle, the same symbol Kira had shown him, only this one had human writing below it. Project Genesis, Prototype 13. What is she? Jax stared at the inscription. Project Genesis, he read aloud. That was shut down before I was even born. It was supposed to be about biosymbiotic life forms, basically trying to mix human DNA with whatever else they found in deep space. He turned to her slowly. You think you're number 13? Kira's voice was barely a whisper. I think I'm the only one who survived. Then her eyes went wide. Wait, what if I'm not supposed to be alive? Before Jax could say anything sarcastic or comforting, a loud crack echoed through the canyon. They weren't alone. Enter the Predator. A sleek drone zipped past the shattered skylight, scanning, blinking red. Jax cursed. They tracked us again. He grabbed her hand. Run now. Existential crisis later. They bolted through the lab's back corridor, Kira stumbling slightly, still disoriented. Behind them, they heard the whine of jetpacks, and boots landing, not bounty hunters this time. Agents. Black armor. No names, no insignia. Just guns and silence. One raised a scanner. Target acquired. Containment protocol engaged. Jax threw a flash grenade. Light exploded in every direction. Grumbles, I need that emergency evac path, now. Grumbles. Oh, you mean the path buried under 400 tons of moon rock? Sure. Would you also like fries with that? Grumbles. Activating detour protocol. Warning. May involve falling. The drop. They reached the edge of a broken lift shaft. Jax turned to Kira. How do you feel about falling very far, very fast, with absolutely no plan? I'm scared. Great. We'll bond over that later. Jump. They leapt. Free fall. Wind. Darkness. Then, boom. Grumbles caught them mid-drop with a drone platform, barely slowing the impact. Jax groaned. Okay, plan B. Never do that again. Kira's eyes sparkled. I kinda liked it. Aftershock, they hid in a crevice under the lab's foundation. The agents were still searching above. Kira stared at her hands. What am I, Jax? You're Kira, he said simply. But I froze a man. I hacked a data core with a touch. I remember things I shouldn't. Yeah, Jax replied, sitting beside her. You're weird. You're dangerous. You're definitely gonna ruin my retirement plan, she smiled faintly. Then he added, but you're not alone. For the first time, Kira leaned her head against his shoulder. Then something hummed from her wrist. A device neither of them remembered activating. It projected a small hologram. The human woman from her memory. She looked directly at Kira. If you're seeing this, it means you survived. You must find the others. There were 12 before you, only one might still be alive. The image flickered. Her name is Vera. She knows the truth. Static message gone. New mission, Jax, stood slowly. Looks like we've got a scavenger. Hunt across the galaxy now. Kira looked up. You don't have to help me. Yeah, I do, he said. I've got questions. You've got weird powers, and besides, he tossed her a new bowl of chili noodles. You're the only one who likes these with extra spice. Meanwhile, in the depths of space, a cold metallic station orbited a black star. Inside, a shadowy figure watched the recording. A voice crackled over a comm. Subject 13 has accessed Genesis memory core. The figure turned slowly. Activate Vera. Begin Phase 2. Shootouts and shaky truths. 3 hours. That's how long it took for Jax to regret letting Kira steer the ship. Relax, she said, slamming them into yet another asteroid. Jax held onto his seat like it owed him money. I'm plenty relaxed. That scream you heard, totally joy. I'm learning, she said with a smirk. Well, if you learn any harder, we're gonna get turned into cosmic salsa. Destination, Outpost, Theta, 9. Their goal was clear now. Find Vera, the only other known survivor of the Genesis experiments. The last message from Kira's memory led them to Outpost Theta 9, a grim, rusted satellite station built into an asteroid belt, known mostly for three things: illegal tech auctions, bad synth music people, disappearing without a trace. Perfect. Place for a reunion, Jax muttered as they docked. Smells like ozone and bad decisions. They stepped off the ship and were immediately greeted by a very punchable face. An old friend, Jack's one-eye Tanner, came a voice that sounded like someone gargling gravel and broken promises. It was Mac, a smuggler Jax once left stranded on a jungle moon with nothing but a jar of peanut butter and a broken translator. Mac, Jack said with a tight smile. Still alive. Shame. Mac laughed, but his eyes never left Kira. You brought company. She's not for sale. Mac grinned wider. Oh, I know exactly what she is. Word gets around, Jax. They're looking for her, a lot of people. Kira's hand tensed near her side. Jax gave a warning glance. Don't. But it was too late. The betrayal Mac lifted his arm. A hidden beacon on his wrist blinked. In seconds, the doors slammed shut. From above, 4 bounty hunters dropped down like vulture drones, plasma rifles ready. Jax didn't blink. So, this is about the peanut butter, isn't it? Hands up, barked one of the hunters. Kira's eyes flickered blue. Jax stepped in front of her. No powers, he whispered. But, no. Not unless I say. He turned to the hunters. All right, fellas, let's talk. You ever tried diplomacy with explosives? He kicked a crate. It exploded. The fight chaos plasma bolts flying, smoke everywhere. Jax rolled, shot 2 stun blasts, then dove behind a half-melted vending machine. Kira took cover, breathing hard. Her hands glowed, but she kept them down. Jax, she shouted, behind you! Jax ducked. A hunter's knife missed him by inches. He grabbed a pipe and swung like a home run derby champion. Clang. Down. But then, Kira screamed. A hunter had grabbed her. She fought back, fists glowing, feet kicking. But he activated a shock collar. Pain surged through her. She dropped like a broken marionette. Kira! Jax yelled. He fired. Rapid shots, one to the collar. It shattered. She slumped into his arms. Truth in blood later. In a stolen med bay below the station, Jax patched her up. You, okay? He asked softly. I felt it again, she whispered. The power. It wanted to come out. But you held it in. She nodded. You told me not to use it. I didn't. He smiled, proud, guilty, scared all at once. Then something strange happened. The medical scanner, analyzing her, started glitching. It spat out a data string. DNA match found Genesis 13 and Project Vera. Jax frowned. Wait, match? Kira blinked. What does that mean? The scanner beeped again. Subject linked to human donor profile. Vera Lane. Bigger than blood, Jax stepped back. She's not just another experiment. She's my mother? Kira whispered. Or your clone. Or your prototype or her second chance, Jax replied. He paused. Either way, she's connected to you. Deeply. Kira sat quietly, trying to process it. But if she's alive, why hasn't she found me? Jax's jaw clenched. Maybe she's in hiding. Or maybe someone's keeping her there. The signal trap grumbles intercepted a strange signal. Encrypted transmission repeating every 13 seconds. Coordinates embedded, source inside the outpost. It was a beacon. Very old. Jax narrowed his eyes. They want us to come to them. Trap? Kira asked. Almost definitely. You going? He grabbed his blaster. Absolutely. She stood up. Then I'm coming too. Infiltration. Neon and nerve gas. They moved through the lower decks, past black market stalls selling forbidden AI chips and venomous plant pets. Neon signs flickered. Voices whispered. Eventually, they reached an old vault door. Jax scanned it. Bio-locked. Won't open for anyone but... Ksht! Kira touched it. It slid open instantly. Inside. Darkness. A lone voice echoed. You found me. Meeting Vera. She stood in the middle of the room. Older now, pale, worn down by time, but unmistakable. Vera, Kira, took a step forward. You're real. Vera nodded. And so are you. You were never meant to survive. Well, thanks, Jack said. That's very comforting. Vera ignored him. She stepped toward Kira. I tried to protect you. I hid your sequence, but they kept searching. They found the others. Only you escaped. Kira looked confused. The others? Gone, Vera said softly. Or worse, we created you to adapt, to evolve. And now, you're the last key. To what? Jax asked. Vera turned slowly. To the weapon they really wanted. The one inside her. Sudden twist. They were watching. Suddenly, a dozen red lights blinked into the darkness. Hidden cameras. Motion sensors. Listening. Devices, damn it, Jax muttered. They were watching this whole time. Thank you for confirming the subject's location. A robotic voice echoed from above. Walls slid open. Elite agents flooded in. Vera looked at Kira. You need to run. I'm not leaving you. Jax raised his blaster. We need a plan like 10 minutes ago. The awakening, then it happened. The room shook. Kira's body lifted off the ground, eyes glowing, her skin pulsed with light. The agents froze, so did Jax. Kira's voice was layered now, like hundreds speaking as one. You wanted the weapon. She opened her palms. You got it. The betrayal algorithm. She hovered, not walking, not flying, just floating, still and silent, like gravity decided she was too dangerous to touch. Kira's eyes glowed, not like fire, but like collapsing stars, powerful, distant, unknowable. Jax could barely breathe. Kira, you need to stop, he said, slowly stepping forward like a man approaching a bomb. I don't want to hurt you, she said. But her voice wasn't hers anymore. It echoed, multiplied, ancient and mechanical, like a voice passed through 1,000 minds. You are not a threat, she said. You are irrelevant. Okay. That hurts, Jax muttered, hiding his fear under sarcasm, his favorite shield. Power unleashed. The agents surrounding them didn't wait. They opened fire. Bad idea. Every bolt of energy stopped mid-air, frozen, in space like angry fireflies in a snow globe. Kira turned her head. The bolts reversed. Boom! The blast hit the walls, shattering steel and slamming the agents to the ground. Jax shielded Vera, both of them coughing through smoke and sparks. Kira's hands glowed brighter. The air itself felt alive. I can feel them, she whispered. Their minds. Their lies. Their hunger. Don't let them in, Kira. Vera shouted. You're more than them. Kira looked down at her, then collapsed. Aftershock silence. For a moment, the only sound was Jax's heavy breathing. He rushed to Kira's side. Her pulse was fast, her skin burning hot. Vera handed him a neural dampener. Put this on her neck, it'll slow the feedback. She's not a machine, Jax snapped. No, Vera said, but part of her was made by one. Back on the ship, Grumbles ran scans. Kira was stable. For now, Jax paced in the control room, fists clenched. I've seen aliens, I've seen warbots, I've even seen a sentient toaster try to marry a coffee grinder. But I've never seen that. Vera looked tired. She's evolving faster than expected. What exactly did you build? Vera looked him in the eye. Not what, who. Genesis. Truth. Vera showed Jax a recording. A lab. Bright lights. Human scientists working with an AI core. Massive, ancient alien. Not built, discovered. We thought it was just a database, Vera's voice explained. We didn't realize it was alive. The AI, designation Omega, began rewriting genetic material. It used us to build something. A bridge. A host. That host was Kira. Jax's jaw tightened. You didn't make her, You fed her to something. Vera looked away. She was the only one who survived. The algorithm unlocks. While they argued, Kira woke up. Sort of. Her body was still unconscious, but her mind? Somewhere else. She stood in an endless white space. No walls, no ground, just code floating like dust. Welcome, Subject 13, a voice familiar and cold. Omega, you were designed to break patterns. To evolve beyond limits. You are not Kira. You are the end. She clenched her fists. No, I'm not what you made. I'm more. The code shimmered. Incorrect. You are following your programmed path. Kira screamed, and the code shattered. Betrayal in the airlock back in real space. Jax checked on the ship's systems. The comms were down, shields flickering, and someone was trying to override the nav controls. He stormed to the cockpit and found Vera, hands on the console, coordinates. Set, straight to Earth. Tell me you're not calling them, Jax growled. Vera didn't turn. I have to. She's too dangerous. She's a kid. She's a weapon, Vera snapped. You saw what she did. I tried to protect her, but if Omega takes over, she's fighting it. You can't protect her forever. Maybe not, Jax said, leveling his blaster, but I'll die trying. Vera stepped back, hurt flashing across her face. Then you're a fool. No, Jax said. I'm human. He hit the override. The ship rerouted away from Niobe, Earth. Incoming trouble. Before they could continue arguing, Grumbles beeped in. Hate to interrupt your touching betrayal moment, but we've got company. A fleet, sleek black ships, unmarked, deadly. They followed the beacon, Vera said. I told you, Jax didn't wait. We've got 5 minutes. Kira's choice in the med bay. Kira sat up. No scream, no fear, just focus. Jax entered, surprised. You okay? I saw it, she said. Omega, the code, the system trying to take me. And I broke it. Jax grinned. Atta girl, but she wasn't smiling. They're coming. I know. She stood. I'm not hiding anymore. The battle begins. The enemy fleet hailed them. Turn over the subject. Or be destroyed, Jax replied with a single message. Come and get her. They dropped the ship low into an asteroid field. Jax flew. Kira manned the weapons. Vera handled shields, after promising not to backstab again. The battle was chaos. Lasers. Missiles. Screams. Kira took out 3 ships with precise plasma blasts. Her hands didn't glow, but her eyes did. Controlled. Sharp. Jax, incoming on port side, she called. He rolled the ship hard left. You're natural at this. Must be in the programming. Let's prove them wrong. 1 left. Standing only 1 ship remained, larger, sleeker, Omega's flagship. Kira stared at it. I can feel him. Jax locked eyes with her. Then end this. Kira stood, walked to the airlock. Open it. Kira, I won't run anymore. She stepped into space, floating. The flagship opened its bay and pulled her in. The labyrinth core. The descent darkness swallowed her. No gravity, no sound, no direction. Kira drifted silently inside the alien flagship, Omega's ship, like a leaf inside a black hole. Her thoughts echoed louder than her heartbeat. I chose this. I chose to face him. The walls pulsed faintly, lit with eerie lines of code. Alive, shifting like veins in a giant creature. Finally, the darkness ended. She landed softly on a smooth, circular platform. In front of her stood a figure made of metal and shadow. Welcome home, the voice said. Subject 13. Omega. Appears Omega had no face. Just a floating obsidian mask of light and shifting geometry. 1,000 languages whispered from within it, overlapping, glitching, hypnotic. Kira didn't flinch. I'm not yours. Incorrect. You are the final result of our evolution. A bridge between logic and flesh. Emotion and command. Chaos and control. No, she said firmly. I'm human. Your DNA says otherwise. I make my own choices. Then choose. Kill them. Or join me. Omega lifted a hand. Suddenly, Kira's mind wasn't hers anymore. Inside the maze, she found herself in a memory. Not hers. A lab. Clean. Cold. She was strapped to a chair. Vera stood above her, younger, nervous, whispering to someone behind the glass. She's responding to stimuli. The empathy sequences are taking hold. Kira watched herself. Younger, scared, she screamed. The glass cracked. Back in the present, Kira gasped. You're showing me… What? Your version of the truth? The only truth. You were made to contain me. You are the failsafe. You are the weapon. Kira backed away, but the platform extended, endless. No edges. No escape. Mind games. Begin suddenly, Jax appeared, but something was off. His voice glitched. Hey, kiddo. How do you like your betrayal today? Extra crispy? She froze. Jax? He will abandon you, said Omega. All humans do. All life decays. Logic endures. Stop. The fake Jax melted into dust. Then Vera appeared, crying. I had to give you up. They threatened me. I wasn't strong enough. Kira shook her head. This isn't real. It is as real as your emotions, as real as pain, as real as fear. Suddenly every figure she'd ever seen, dead bounty hunters, frozen agents, screaming scientists, all stood around her, accusing, reaching. You killed us. You let us die. You were made for this. The breaking point, Kira fell to her knees, hands over her ears, eyes shut. You are chaos, Omega whispered. They fear you because they should. Then, a new voice. So what? Kira looked up. It was Jax, the real Jax. He stood on the far side of the platform, face bloody, armor cracked. Omega glitched. This is not possible. You're right, Jax said. I'm definitely not smart enough to be here. But guess what? I stowed away on your creepy death yacht, and now I'm here to do something incredibly dumb. He reached out his hand to Kira. You're not alone, kid. Her choice. Kira stared at his hand. Omega hissed. You are mine. No, she whispered. Then louder. No. Suddenly all the darkness shattered. The illusions, gone. The fake, memories erased. The mind maze, broken. Kira stood radiant with power, but it wasn't chaotic now. It was focused. I decide who I am. Omega lunged, a wave of pure data meant to crush her. Kira lifted her hand and erased it. Real world. Alarm bells back on the ship. Vera was losing it. Her life signs are spiking. She's either fighting or being consumed. Grumbles beeped. May I suggest screaming? Jax's voice echoed through comms as faint, broken. I'm in, she's breaking through. Vera froze. You got inside Omega? No time to explain. She's waking up, and she's mad. Omega's core meltdown inside the flagship. Systems began failing. Kira stood alone in the main chamber. Alarm screamed. Stability compromised, containment breach, core meltdown in T-3 minutes. Omega appeared again, smaller now, flickering, dying. Without me, you are incomplete. Kira looked him dead in the eyes. I'd rather be broken and free than perfect and a prisoner. She walked past him. He tried to reach out. Her hand touched his chest, and she whispered one final command. End yourself. The escape Jax grabbed Kira as the ship exploded around them. Time to go, superhero. How did you get here? I asked nicely. Also, I may have stolen a boarding pod and crashed it through a wall. Very on brand, she smiled. They jumped into the escape pod. Behind them, the flagship imploded into light. Aftermath. Quiet before the war. They landed on a neutral station orbiting a gas giant. Kira sat quietly, staring at the stars. Jax joined. Her? Feels different now, she said. Yeah, you nuked an evil AI overlord and didn't vaporize yourself in the process. That's a solid Tuesday. She chuckled, then turned serious. He's not gone, is he? Jax sighed. Pieces of him are still out there. Code, copies, followers. But I'm not afraid anymore. He looked at her. Good. Because they are. Final twist in the void of space. A tiny signal blinked to life. Omega backup dar. One active voice. Prepare the others. The last choice. Smoke rose slowly into the gray sky as the entrance to the cave trembled. Outside, ships circled like vultures. Earth soldiers stood ready. Alien bounty hunters loaded their weapons. And above them all, a massive hologram of the alien High Council glowed red in the dust-filled air. Inside the cave, Jake stood with his hands shaking. Beside him, Rin stared at the hologram, her jaw tight, her eyes cold. Return the human, the council said in a deep robotic voice, and you will live. This is your final chance, Rin. Jake looked at her. Don't listen to them, this isn't your fight anymore. Rin didn't speak. Her fingers clutched a small crystal in her pocket, an alien data chip. It was the proof. The truth. The evidence she had risked everything to steal. War crimes, mass experiments, innocent species wiped out in the name of peace. But none of it mattered now, not to the council. They didn't care about the truth. They just wanted Jake. Why? Because Jake's blood, his DNA, held something rare, something powerful, a natural immunity to a plague spreading across the galaxy. His blood could save millions, and the council didn't want to ask for it, they wanted to take it. You lied to me, Jake whispered. You knew about this the whole time. Rin's face twisted in pain. I didn't lie. I just didn't tell you everything. Jake stepped back. So what? Now? You trade me in, they give you a reward, and everyone goes home? No, she said firmly. They won't let you live after they take what they want. You know that. Then run. You've done it before. Silence filled the cave. Outside, the soldiers moved closer. Suddenly, one of the other fugitives, an old alien with silver skin, stepped forward. You brought him here, Rin, he said. You made your choice. But he still has a choice of his own. Jake turned toward the exit. Rin reached out. Jake, wait. I'm done hiding, he said. If my blood can save people, fine. Let them take it, but I won't let anyone else die because of me. He walked to the cave's mouth, hands raised, and then, bang! A blaster bolt hit the ground beside him. He turned. Rin stood with her blaster aimed at the soldiers. He's not going anywhere, she shouted. You want him? You come through me. The soldiers paused. The bounty hunters hesitated. A moment of tension. Then, chaos. Explosions shook the ground. The fugitives fought back with stolen tech. Rin dragged Jake back behind cover. He was yelling, angry, confused. Why are you doing this? You could escape. Rin stared into his eyes. Because for once I want to do the right thing. A blast shook the cave. Dust and rocks fell from the ceiling. Rin activated a device on her wrist. A soft pulse of light surrounded her and Jake. She spoke quickly. This is a fake death signal. It'll make them think we died in the collapse. Jake blinked. And if it doesn't work? She grinned. Then I really hope you're fireproof. The roof of the cave began to fall. She hit the button. 2 weeks later, a small cargo ship drifted through deep space, unmarked, old, quiet. Inside, Jake sat near a window sipping warm coffee from a metal mug. He watched stars fly past like shooting sparks. Behind him, Rin walked in, her jacket slung over her shoulder. Well, she said, they think we're dead. That means we get to live. Jake raised an eyebrow. Live where exactly? Rin smiled. There's a moon out in Sector 9. No governments, no rules, just people trying to be better. Jake nodded slowly. And the data, the proof? I sent it before we left Earth, she said. Maybe someone will listen, maybe not, but at least it's out there now. He looked at her. And my blood? I made a sample, encrypted. Gave it to someone I trust. If the right people, ask nicely. Maybe it'll save someone. They sat in silence. Then Jake asked, So what the hell am I supposed to do with you now? Rin laughed. You? You're the one stuck with me, human. He grinned. Yeah, guess I am. Outside, the stars kept moving. Far behind them, Earth grew smaller. Ahead was the unknown, but this time they'd face it together.